هو الذي يسيركم في البر والبحر حتى إذا كنتم في الفلك وجرين بهم بريح طيبة وفرحوا بها جاءتها ريح عاصف وجاءهم الموج من كل مكان وظنوا أنهم أحيط بهم دعوا الله مخلصين له الدين لئن أنجيتنا من هذه لنكونن من الشاكرين.
He it is who enables you to journey through the land and the sea, and so it happens that when you have boarded the ships, and they set sail with a favorable wind, and the passengers rejoice the pleasant voyage, then suddenly a fierce gale appears, and wave upon wave surges upon them from every side, and people believe that they are surrounded from all directions, and all of them cry out to Allah in full sincerity of faith, "If you deliver us from this, we shall surely be thankful."
31. The fact that even the most obdurate mushriks and the most hardened atheists who forget Allah when things go well with them, begin to invoke Allah's help when they are pressed hard from all sides and despair of help from any other quarter, is a clear evidence that there is the all-powerful Allah who is controlling each and everything in the universe. Refer to En. 29, Surah Al-An'am. 31a. The parable is meant to warn those who are utterly neglectful of the life after death because of their apparent success in this worldly life. They have been likened to the owners of the land who were happy to presume that the crop was ripe and luxuriant and it was within their power to reap it and enjoy the produce of their harvest. They were so sure of this that they began to enjoy the foretaste of the ripened crops, unaware of the decree of Allah which destroyed their crops and all their great expectations also. Likewise, those who neglect to make preparations for the life after death will find to their sorrow that all they did to earn for the enjoyments of this world was, in relation to the next world, like the ripe crop that was destroyed all of a sudden.
أنجاهم إذا هم يبغون في الأرض بغير الحق يا أيها الناس إنما بغيكم على أنفسكم متاع الحياة الدنيا ثم إلينا مرجعكم فننبئكم بما كنتم تعملون.
But no sooner than He delivers them, than they go about committing excesses on the earth, acting unjustly. O mankind, the excesses you commit will be of harm only to yourselves. Enjoy, if you will, the fleeting pleasure of this world. In the end you shall return to us, and then we shall tell you what you have been doing.
إنما مثل الحياة الدنيا كماء إن أنزلناه من السماء فاختلط به نبات الأرض مما يأكل الناس والأنعام حتى إذا أخذت الأرض زخرفها وزينت وظن أهلها أنهم قادرون عليها أتاها أمرنا ليلا أو نهارا فجعلناها حصيدا كأن لم تغن بالأمس كذلك نفصل الآيات لقوم يتفكرون.
The example of the life of this world, which has enamored you into becoming heedless of our signs, is that of water that we sent down from the sky, which caused the vegetation of the earth, sustaining human being and cattle, to grow luxuriantly. But when the earth took on its golden raiment and became well adorned, and the owners believed that they had full control over their lands, our command came upon them by night or by day, and we converted it into a stubble as though it had not blossomed yesterday. Thus do we expound the signs for a people who reflect.
والله يدعو إلى دار السلام ويهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم.
You are being lured by this ephemeral world, although Allah calls you to the abode of peace and guides whomsoever He wills to a straight way.
32. That is, Allah invites to the way that leads to the abode of peace in the hereafter. The abode of peace here means paradise, where there will be no fear whatsoever of any loss, calamity, sorrow, pain and trouble.
للذين أحسنوا الحسنى وزيادة ولا يرهق وجوههم قتر ولا ذلة أولئك أصحاب الجنة هم فيها خالدون.
For those who do good, there is good reward and more besides neither gloom nor humiliation shall cover their faces. They are the people of the garden, and in it they shall abide.
33. That is, Allah by His grace will give to those who did good deeds more than their due reward.
والذين كسبوا السيئات جزاء سيئة بمثلها وترهقهم ذلة ما لهم من الله من عاصم كأنما أغشيت وجوههم قطعا من الليل مظلما أولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون.
Those who do evil deeds, the recompense of an evil deed is its like, and humiliation shall spread over them, and there will be none to protect them from Allah. Darkness will cover their faces as though they were veiled with the dark blackness of night. These are the people of the fire, and in it they shall abide.
34. That is, in contrast to the additional rewards to the good people, those who earned evil deeds shall be punished only in proportion to their crimes. C.E.N. 110 of An-Naml. 35. It shall be that kind of gloom that overspreads the faces of the criminals when they are caught, and they despair all hopes of escape point.
ويوم نحشرهم جميعا ثم نقول للذين أشركوا مكانكم أنتم وشركاؤكم فزيلنا بينهم وقال شركاؤهم ما كنتم إيانا تعبدون.
And the day when we shall muster them all together, we shall say to those who associated others with Allah in His divinity, keep to your places, you and those whom you associated with Allah. Then we shall remove the veil of foreignness, separating them. Those whom they had associated with Allah will say, it was not us that you worshipped.
3:6. Some commentators are of the opinion that the original words of the text mean this: we will cut off every kind of connection and relation between them so that they are not able to show any concern for one another. But these meanings are opposed to the Arabic usage, according to which they mean, we will distinguish them from one another, or we will cause a distinction among them. That is why these have been translated like this: then we will separate one from the other. That is, the mushriks and their deities shall stand in front of each other and recognize their mutual and respective positions. The mushriks shall come to know the whole truth about those whom they worshipped. 31. The mushriks shall come to know the whole truth about those whom they worshipped, and their deities will learn everything about their worshippers.
Then we shall remove the veil of foreignness, separating them. It will become quite clear as to what distinguishes one group from the other. The polytheists will come to know those they consider to be their gods, and the false deities will also come to know those who had worshipped them.
فَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ إِن كُنَّا عَنْ عِبَادَتِكُمْ لَغَافِلِينَ.
Allah's witness suffices between you and us that, even if you worshipped us, we were totally unaware of your worshipping us.
37. That is, their deities, the angels, the jinns, the spirits, the forefathers, the prophets, the saints, the martyrs and all others, whom they had set up as partners with God and rendered those rights to them which belonged to God alone, will dissociate themselves from their worshippers and declare, we did not know at all that you worshipped us, for no reverence, no respect, no honor, no admiration, no regard, no adoration, no homage that you paid to us. No prayer, no supplication, no request, no offering, no gift you presented to us, and no praise, no prostration, no bowing down, no remembrance, no religious service, or ceremony or ritual you made in our name ever reached us.
هُنَالِكَ تَبْلُو كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَا أَسْلَفَتْ وَرُدُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ مَوْلَاهُمُ الْحَقِّ وَضَلَّ عَنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَفْتَرُونَ.
Thereupon everyone shall taste the recompense of his past deeds. All shall be sent back to Allah, their true Lord, and then all the falsehoods they had fabricated will have forsaken them.
قُلْ مَنْ يَرْزُقُكُمْ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ أَمَّنْ يَمْلِكُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَمَنْ يُخْرِجُ الْحَيَّ مِنَ الْمَيِّتِ وَيُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ وَمَنْ يُدَبِّرُ الْأَمْرَ فَسَيَقُولُونَ اللَّهُ فَقُلْ أَفَلَا تَتَّقُونَ.
Ask them, who provides you with sustenance out of the heavens and the earth? Who holds mastery over your hearing and sight? Who brings forth the living from the dead, and the dead from the living? Who governs all affairs of the universe? They will surely say, Allah. Tell them, will you then not shun going against reality?
فَذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ رَبُّكُمُ الْحَقُّ فَمَاذَا بَعْدَ الْحَقِّ إِلَّا الضَّلَالُ فَأَنَّى تُصْرَفُونَ.
Such then is Allah your true Lord. And what is there after truth but error? How then are you being turned away?
38. That is, as you yourselves admit that Allah alone is your real provider, owner and master, He alone is your true Lord, and, therefore, entitled to your servitude and worship. How have you, then, made others as partners with Him? 39. It should be kept in mind that these questions have been posed to the common people. Therefore they are not being asked. how are you turning away? But, how are you turned away? The passive voice clearly shows that there must be some person, or persons, who was turning away the people from the right direction to the wrong one. That is why this appeal is being made to the people. Why are you blindly following those who are misguiding you? Why don't you use your own common sense? When you yourselves admit the truth about Allah, why don't you consider the fact that you are being turned away from Him? This question has been posed at many places in the Quran to bring home the truth to the common people, but at every place the passive voice has been employed in order to keep back the names of the misguiding ones so that their followers should consider the matter coolly and objectively. This also contains a valuable piece of advice for those engaged in propagation work. By avoiding the names of the misguiding ones, the Quran has taken away a very strong weapon from the hands of those who could otherwise incite the followers that their revered leaders were being made the target of ridicule and criticism.
It is for this
كذلك حقت كلمة ربك على الذين فسقوا أنهم لا يؤمنون.
Thus, the word of your Lord is fulfilled concerning the transgressors, that they shall not believe.
That is, this word of your Lord has come true, that those who have made up their minds that they would not believe in any case would never believe because of their obduracy, even if the truth were to be presented before them with very plain and clear arguments.
قُلْ هَلْ مِن شُرَكَائِكُم مَّن يَبْدَأُ الْخَلْقَ ثُمَّ يُعِيدُهُ قُلِ اللَّهُ يَبْدَأُ الْخَلْقَ ثُمَّ يُعِيدُهُ فَأَنَّىٰ تُؤْفَكُونَ.
Ask them, is there any among those whom you associate with Allah in His divinity, who brings about the creation of all beings in the first instance, and will then repeat it? Tell them, it is Allah who brings about the creation of all beings, and will then repeat it. How are you then being misled?
41. It is to be noted that the answers to the questions posed in this and the following verse have been put in the mouth of the Prophet, peace be upon him, in contrast to the answers posed in the preceding verses. This is because the mushriks themselves believed, and therefore could not deny, that Allah originated the creation and that their gods had no share in this. But they would not admit that He could or would bring it back, for they could not in that case reject the doctrine of the life after death, though it was obvious that the one who originated the creation could also bring it back again, and not any one of those who had not originated it. That is why the answer has been put in the mouth of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that he should declare it openly and boldly that Allah originated the creation and could and would bring it back again. 42. This question has been posed to bring home to them the folly of the doctrine of shirk. The argument is this: when Allah originates the creation and has the power to bring it back again, where do the gods you have set up come in? If you think a little, you yourselves will realize that there is no room for anyone in the universe for any claim or title to your reverence or worship or servitude. 43.
قُلْ هَلْ مِن شُرَكَائِكُم مَّن يَهْدِي إِلَى الْحَقِّ قُلِ اللَّهُ يَهْدِي لِلْحَقِّ أَفَمَن يَهْدِي إِلَى الْحَقِّ أَحَقُّ أَن يُتَّبَعَ أَمَّن لَّا يَهِدِّي إِلَّا أَن يُهْدَىٰ فَمَا لَكُمْ كَيْفَ تَحْكُمُونَ.
Ask them, are there among those whom you associate with Allah in His divinity any who can guide to the truth? Say, it is Allah alone who guides to the truth. Then who is more worthy to be followed? He who guides to the truth, or he who cannot find the right way unless others guide him to it? What is wrong with you? How ill do you judge?
This is one of the series of questions that have been posed to refute the doctrine of shirk and to establish the doctrine of Tawhid. Besides, it is also meant to focus attention on the importance of the guidance to the truth, which is one of the greatest human necessities. For it is obvious that the human needs and requirements are not confined to food, clothes and the like necessities of the physical life, nor to its protection from losses, distresses, calamities, etc. But one of man's needs, nay, his greatest need, is to have the knowledge of the right way of life so that he may, on the whole, achieve success in it. It is obvious that in order to be successful in life, man should have the correct knowledge of the use he should make of and the way he should employ his own physical, mental and spiritual powers and capabilities and natural resources. He should also know the nature and the kind of behavior he should adopt towards other human beings, and as a whole, towards the system of the universe in which he has to inevitably live and work, with whom he comes into contact in different capacities. The Quran calls that right way, the truth, and the guidance that leads to that way, the guidance to the truth. Now let us turn to the question that has been posed in this verse. The Quran asks the mushriks and all those people who reject the teachings of the Prophet, peace be upon him, is there any of the partners and gods you have set up besides Allah, who guides you to the truth or can do so? Obviously the answer to this will surely be in the negative, for neither of the classes of gods is capable of this. First, let us consider this with regard to those gods and goddesses and living or dead human beings who are worshipped as gods. Though it is true that people turn to them for the fulfillment of their needs or for their protection from calamities in some supernatural way, yet they never turn to them to seek guidance to the truth, nor have they themselves ever sent it, nor do their devotees ever claim that their deities teach them the principles of morality, sociology, culture, economics, politics, law, justice and the like. Then there is the case of those who make rules, regulations and laws which others accept and follow. It is true that such persons are accepted and followed as leaders, but the pertinent question is this: are they the real guides to the truth, or are they capable of becoming guides to it? Does any one of them possess the kind of knowledge that comprehends all those truths that are a prerequisite for formulating right principles for the guidance of human life? Can any one of them have full vision of the vast field of activities over which the human problem spread? Is there any one of them who is absolutely free from the weaknesses, prejudices, personal or communal interests, which become hindrances to the formulation of just laws? If the answers to these questions are in the negative, and obviously no one in his senses can answer otherwise, how can then people with such limitations be expected to be the source of guidance to the truth? In the light of the above questions, we are able to grasp the signification of the question that has been posed in the Quran. Is there any of the partners you have set up with Allah who can guide you to the truth? This shows conclusively that Allah alone has the power to satisfy all the human needs and requirements, which may be divided into two categories. First, man stands in need of a provider, a protector, a being to hear and grant his prayers, in short, a permanent support to which he may turn whenever other supports should fail him. The above question inevitably leads to the conclusion that there is no God other than Allah who can fulfill these needs. The other human needs and requirements demand that there should be a guide to lay down such principles for the conduct of human life in its entirety as should be obeyed with perfect confidence and peace of mind. The question posed in Ayat 35 implies that that being can be none other than Allah. Therefore there remains no argument in support of the point that the principles of culture, morality, and politics should be based on shirk or secularism, except that one should persist in obduracy and obstinacy.